So you have a strong background, like you said. You have roots in Person County with your family, your church, Heiko Zion Baptist Church, North Carolina A&T State University. So all of this rich history, all of this rich culture had gone into your development. You've taken all of that and you've brought it here to the Kirby, to theater. Tell me how you got into doing theater and how you got into doing plays here at the Kirby.
I started out, it was December 2017. I was in Greensboro at the time. My homeboy was like, he's a fellow actor, writer, director. He was like, hey man, I'm putting on this show. It's an improv comedy show. Do you want to be a part of it? And I was like, man, I never did improv before, but all right, cool. I'm with it. Let's do it. I actually wrote a skit for the show. Everybody loved the skit. So I was like, okay, maybe this is something I can do. A few months later, I heard about the Kirby was doing Dreamgirls. It's like one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite productions, period. I was like, you know what? Let me do this. Let me step out on faith and go ahead and do this. Let me try it out and see. Went to the audition. Dr. Fred Motley was directing at the time. Leslie Paler Swan was the music director. I know Leslie from growing up because she was the Old Mount Zion. So that's like when our sister church is growing up. So I auditioned. I was offered a role as ensemble. I was like, you know what? I'll take that. Because originally I wanted to play Jimmy Earl. I felt like I had the personality for it, but Antoine, who was phenomenal as Jimmy, phenomenal singer, actor, he got the role. I was like, I see why he got Jimmy, but I'll go ahead and take, ensemble role. Mr. Molly was impressed with my acting because, it's just acting. I was just being me that my ensemble character became almost, I won't say a main character, but I was on stage pretty much a whole lot. So he fused a lot of the other characters and just like, okay, we're gonna give you this one character, which was Earl. So the character I played, I was the Apollo Theater announcer, which turned into Curtis's best friend, riding around with him to owning the club that Effie did, I'm changing in, and also One Night Only. So it's just, I love that feeling of being on stage, being a part of seeing the sets move, doing this and doing that. So that's what really started to anchor me down, like, okay, I like this. I'm gonna definitely do it again, which I actually did after doing Dreamgirls here. I got involved with a troupe in South Boston, Virginia, but I did approximately, I think 5 plays with them. I did them back to back. So I did Dreamgirls in April. I did a play called Patience in June. Did another play called Because I Said I Do in September. I did a play When Faith Steps In December. And then the last play I did with them was in April, was called Three Secrets. And then I took a little break until The Wiz was later on that year in 2019.
Okay. All right. Well, tell me about The Wiz. You did The Wiz here at the Kirby, and that was a really big stepping stone for you, I know. So tell me about that production, how you came to be a part of it, and then just the environment that you experienced doing that.
The Wiz was one of the greatest opportunities that I have ever had. When we did The Wiz, I was like, okay, I'm gonna audition for it. That's one of my favorite movies as well. I love the movie, the original movie. I love the original Broadway show with Stephanie Mills. Even when they did the remake live on NBC, I loved all of that. So when Wiz came about, I did my audition. I was like, okay, I want to play 2 characters. Either it's going to be the Lion or the Wiz himself. I auditioned, got the call back. Mr. Motley was like, you're going to be the Wiz. Enough said. I got what I wanted to do, so I was going to make the Wiz my own. I drew my inspiration to be the Wiz from all the past people who played the Wiz, such as Andre Dashiell, who was the original Wiz from the Broadway production, Queen Latifah, who did it in NBC Live, Richard Pryor, who was the Wiz in the movie, and I also threw a little bit of Chris Tucker from The Fifth Element. That's one of my favorite movies. So I was like, I combined all of them and I made my character, which is the Wiz. And if you guys got a chance to see it, you know what I'm talking about. I lost myself in that role, and that's, like I said, to this day, one of my favorite roles ever that I have ever done.
You also have mentioned to me that you really enjoyed that cast. What is it like to work in a great cast where the chemistry is really there?
The chemistry is there because we don't look at each other as castmates, we look at each other as family. And once you get that in your head, like, okay, this is family, you start to see that gel, you start to see that mesh well with each other. And a lot of us came together, a lot of us were performed together in Dreamgirls. So when we did The Wiz, a lot of us went to The Wiz. So the first day of rehearsal was like, oh, you here too? Okay, cool. So the show, you really saw it in the show. You really saw how our characters interacted with each other, how we were on stage. For example, Kimberly Hargrove, who played Dorothy, that's my first cousin. I've known that girl all my life. So being on stage, actually get to really be on stage with my cousin, it would be times at rehearsal like, look, I'm gonna do this. All right, I'm gonna follow you. And we played off each other so well that it worked, you know? So when you're able to have a cast like that, it doesn't even feel like a production anymore. It feels like just fun all the time. And you can see it once the actors hit the stage, you can see how much fun everybody's having with each other.